Ladies and gentlemen, life is unpredictable. There will be moments when we rise to great heights, and there will be moments when we stumble. But what truly defines us is not how much we have, but how much we can endure and rise again. We live in a world that often measures success by material wealth, by the numbers in a bank account, the size of a home, or the value of possessions. But let me tell you this. Losing money does not mean losing everything. Money comes and goes. Opportunities fade and return. Circumstances change in the blink of an eye. But what truly matters, your character, your integrity, your dreams, can never be taken from you unless you allow it. If you lose money, you lose nothing. Because money is a tool, not a definition of who you are. What truly matters is your spirit, your resilience, your ability to stand back up when life knocks you down. If you lose courage, then you lose something valuable. But if you lose hope, then you have lost everything. So no matter what challenges come your way, remember, wealth is not in your wallet, but in your mindset. True success is built on perseverance, discipline, and faith in yourself. Rise from failure, learn from setbacks, and never allow temporary losses to define your future. Because at the end of the day, the most valuable thing you own is not in your pocket, it's in your heart and mind. Stay strong, stay hungry, and never stop moving forward. Thank you. Life is unpredictable, and that's a fact. One day, you can be on top of the world, feeling invincible, and the next, you're faced with setbacks you never saw coming. But here's the truth. What truly defines you is not what you own, not the size of your bank account, not the car you drive, not the house you live in. It's your ability to endure. It's your strength when the storm hits. It's your resilience when things don't go your way. Money, it comes and goes. Always has, always will. That's the nature of the world. If you lose money today, you can make it back tomorrow. If an investment fails, another opportunity will come. If a job is lost, there's another one waiting. But you, your mind, your will, your hunger, those are the things that can't be bought and they can't be taken unless you surrender them yourself. The moment you start believing that your worth is tied to your wealth, you set yourself up for a life of fear, anxiety, and insecurity. Because let's be honest, money is never guaranteed. You can do everything right, work tirelessly, make smart decisions, and still face losses. That's life. That's reality. But what happens when you lose money? Do you crumble? Do you give up? Do you let it define you? Or do you stand back up, dust yourself off, and say, this is not the end for me. I am more than a paycheck. I am more than my bank balance. I am built to last. That's the mindset you need. That's the fire that separates the ones who rise again from the ones who stay down. Too many people let temporary failure convince them they are permanent failures. They face one setback and believe they're finished. They let fear creep in. They let doubt take over. They let society tell them they've lost because their financial situation isn't what it used to be. But listen, losing money is not losing your life. Losing money is not losing your potential. Losing money is just that, a temporary state, a passing moment, a lesson wrapped in disguise. History is filled with people who lost everything and built themselves back up. Entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, leaders. People who hit rock bottom, people who had nothing, people who were counted out. But they didn't let it break them. They turned their losses into lessons. They refused to stay down. And you, yes, you, have that same power inside of you. The question is, are you willing to tap into it? Are you willing to fight for what's yours? Are you willing to trust that what you have inside is far greater than anything you can hold in your hands? Because if you do, There's no loss that can defeat you, no setback that can stop you, no amount of money that can ever define you. Courage. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even intelligence. It's courage. The willingness to stand tall when everything around you is falling apart. The strength to push forward when the weight of failure is trying to pull you down. If you lose money, you lose nothing. But if you lose courage, now that's a problem. That's when things start to slip away, because the moment you allow fear to take over, you stop fighting, you stop moving, and you start accepting a life that's less than what you're capable of. Fear is a liar. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you're not good enough, that you'll never recover, that you should just accept defeat. It tells you to play it safe, to shrink, to settle. And if you listen to it, if you let it take hold, it will rob you of every opportunity, every dream, every ounce of potential that's inside of you. That's why you cannot afford to lose courage. That's why you cannot let fear win, because once it does, once you allow doubt to take over, you start making decisions from a place of weakness instead of strength. You start avoiding risks. You start talking yourself out of taking action. You start convincing yourself that maybe this is just how life is supposed to be. And that is the biggest mistake you could ever make. Listen to me. Courage is everything. It's the fuel that keeps you going when everything in you wants to quit. It's the fire that burns inside of you when the world tells you no. It's the force that separates those who achieve greatness from those who spend their lives wondering, what if? And the good news, courage is a choice. It's not something you're born with. It's not reserved for a select few. It's something you build, something you strengthen every single time you refuse to give in to fear. Think about it. How many times have you stopped yourself from chasing something because you were afraid? Afraid of failing, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of what people would think. How many opportunities have you let slip away because you let doubt win? And now, ask yourself, what would happen if you chose courage instead? What would happen if you refused to let fear control your decisions? What if instead of thinking about what could go wrong, you started believing in what could go right? That's the mindset you need. That's the energy you have to bring into every situation. Because the ones who make it, the ones who change their lives, are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to back down. They're the ones who feel fear but move forward anyway. They're the ones who bet on themselves when no one else does. And that's exactly what you need to do. Because courage is the key, and without it, you'll never unlock the doors that are waiting for you. Hope, that's the one thing you can never afford to lose. Not money, not status, not even opportunities. Because all of those things can be rebuilt. But hope, once you let go of that, you stop fighting. You stop believing. You stop moving forward. And the moment you stop moving forward, life starts closing in on you. Hope is the foundation of everything. It's the reason people keep pushing when there's no visible way out. It's the reason the underdog gets back up after being knocked down. It's the reason dreams turn into reality. And yet too many people let life strip them of it. They face failure, and instead of seeing it as a lesson, they see it as a sign to quit. They lose a job, and instead of seeing it as a redirection, they see it as the end. They go through hard times and allow the struggle to define them. That's where people get it wrong. Struggle is not the end. Failure is not the end. The only thing that can truly end your journey is giving up. Look around you. Every person who has ever achieved something great has one thing in common. They refused to lose hope. They went through rejection. They faced loss. They endured setbacks, but they kept believing. They kept pushing, even when it didn't make sense, even when the odds were stacked against them. And eventually, that persistence paid off. But it never would have happened if they had let go of hope. You have to understand, life is not about how many times you fall, but about how many times you rise. If you hold on to hope, you will rise every single time. No matter how hard things get, no matter how impossible the situation seems, as long as you believe in the possibility of something better, you have a chance. You have a fighting shot. But the second you tell yourself, it's over, the second you let go of that belief, you have already lost. Too many people live their lives in defeat, not because they weren't capable, not because they didn't have opportunities, but because they let hopelessness win. They stopped trying. They accepted less than what they were capable of. They let their pain convince them that there was no way forward. But listen, your future is not written yet. Your story is not finished. You are still in control. And as long as you have hope, you still have the power to change everything. So when life knocks you down, when things don't go your way, when you feel like giving up, don't. Hold on, keep believing, keep moving, because hope is not just an emotion, it's a weapon. And the people who refuse to let go of it are the ones who make it to the other side, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Your mindset is your greatest asset. Not your money, not your connections, not your circumstances. It's the way you think, the way you see the world, the way you respond to challenges. That's what determines whether you rise or whether you fall. That's what separates those who win from those who spend their lives making excuses. Because the truth is, life will throw obstacles your way. That's a guarantee. There will be losses, there will be failures, there will be moments when you question everything. But the ones who succeed, the ones who overcome, are the ones who refuse to let their mindset be controlled by fear, doubt, or negativity. Think about it. Two people can go through the exact same struggle, but one will break and the other will break through. Why? It's not because one was more talented. It's not because one had better luck. It's because one had the right mindset. One saw the struggle as a dead end, while the other saw it as a stepping stone. One focused on what was lost, while the other focused on what could be gained. One let fear take over, while the other let determination lead the way. That's the difference. That's the power of mindset. You have to train your mind to see beyond the problem. If all you focus on is what's wrong, you'll never see the opportunities hiding in the chaos. If all you think about is what you've lost, you'll never recognize the lessons that loss is teaching you. If all you do is dwell on failure, you'll never have the energy to step into your next victory. Your mind controls everything, and if you don't take control of it, the world will do it for you. People with the right mindset don't wait for things to get better. They make things better. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They create the moment. They don't sit around hoping for change. They become the change. And that's exactly how you need to operate. Because if you let your circumstances dictate your mindset, you will always be a prisoner to them. But if you make the decision right here, right now, that no matter what happens, you will stay focused, you will stay driven, you will keep pushing, then nothing can stop you. Nothing can break you. You have to believe that you are bigger than your problems. You have to believe that you are stronger than your struggles. You have to believe that every single setback is setting you up for a greater comeback. Because that belief, that's what will keep you going. That's what will make you unstoppable. So don't let doubt control you. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let failure define you. Train your mind to see the possibilities, not just the problems. Train your mind to focus on solutions, not excuses. Train your mind to be unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable. Because once your mindset is right, everything else will fall into place. Strength is not measured by how much you have. It's measured by how much you can take and still keep going. It's not about avoiding hardship. It's about how you respond when hardship comes. And make no mistake, life will test you. It will push you. It will challenge you. And it will put you in situations where you feel like giving up. But the ones who rise, the ones who overcome, are not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who refused to stay down. They're the ones who kept fighting, no matter how hard it got. They're the ones who understood that true power doesn't come from comfort, it comes from endurance. Too many people let a few tough moments break them. They face failure and suddenly believe they're not good enough. They lose something valuable and convince themselves that they'll never recover. They hit one roadblock and decide to turn back. But let me tell you something. The strongest people you know, the most successful people in history, didn't get there because things were easy for them. They got there because they refused to quit. They got there because they didn't let temporary pain become a permanent defeat. They got there because no matter how many times they got knocked down, they got back up every single time. Pain is temporary. Struggles are temporary. But quitting is forever. If you give up, that's it. That's where your story ends. But if you keep going, if you push through the struggle, if you refuse to let life break you, then nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you. Because the truth is, the moment you decide you will not be defeated, you already won. The moment you decide that no matter what happens, you will keep fighting, you've already separated yourself from the majority of people who give up when things get tough. You have to understand, pressure is what creates diamonds. Resistance is what builds strength. Struggles are not there to destroy you. They are there to shape you, to refine you, to turn you into the person you were meant to be. So when things get hard, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Don't complain about how difficult the road is. Focus on how strong you are becoming because of it. Because if you change the way you see challenges, you will change the way you handle them. And once you change the way you handle them, nothing will be able to break you. You have more strength in you than you realize. You have more power inside of you than you've ever tapped into. But you'll never know what you're truly capable of until you decide to stop backing down, until you decide that no matter what comes your way, you will face it head on, until you decide that you will not just survive, you will thrive. Because that decision, that's what makes you unstoppable. Your future is not determined by what's in your pocket, it's determined by what's in your heart and mind. The most valuable thing you own isn't money, isn't material possessions, isn't status. It's you, your thoughts, your energy, your passion, your belief in yourself. That's where real power comes from. That's what separates those who build something great from those who sit back and watch others do it. Because at the end of the day, external things can be taken away, but what's inside of you, that's yours. That's untouchable. And that's the one thing that will carry you forward no matter what life throws at you. Too many people chase money thinking it will bring them security. They believe that if they just earn enough, save enough, or invest enough, they'll finally have peace. But what happens when money is lost? What happens when the unexpected hits? If your confidence was built on your wealth, then the moment that wealth disappears, so does your confidence. If your happiness was tied to material things, then the moment those things are gone, so is your happiness. That's why you cannot base your future on something as unstable as money. You have to base it on something unshakable. Your mindset, your work ethic, your determination, your ability to rise no matter what. Look at the most successful people in the world. Many of them started with nothing. No money, no connections, no head start. But they had something far more valuable. The belief that they could create something out of nothing. The mindset that failure was not an ending but a lesson. The unbreakable will to keep going even when everything seemed to be against them. And because of that, they built success that wasn't just temporary, it was lasting. It wasn't just based on external wealth, it was built on internal power. And that's what you need to do. If you focus only on what you don't have, you will stay stuck. If you believe your success depends on money, you will limit yourself. But if you focus on what's inside of you, on the talent, skills, and drive that no one can take away, then you become unstoppable. Because no matter what happens, no matter how many times you fall, you'll always have what it takes to stand back up. Your power, your future, your success, it all starts with you, not with luck, not with a paycheck, not with a handout, but with your mindset, your choices, your ability to push forward when others quit. The world doesn't decide your future, you do. And as long as you never forget that, as long as you keep building yourself from the inside out, there is no challenge, no setback, no loss that can take away what truly matters. Because real wealth, real success, it's never about what's in your hands. It's about what's in you. And that is something no one can ever take away.